Man, look at that big old fat boy right there.
Hey, it's Pete, GCI Turf. Hope you're doing good. And man, I'm gonna tell you, my beds are a wreck. It's time to get them in shape.
Man, look at all this. Of course, you know, I had my dumb irrigation install, and gosh, I just let things go after I guess I was just so daggone tired. I just quit working on the beds after that. And I've kind of got things finished up, and I'm just about ready to do my pine needles and that kind of thing. But look at all this crap. Now I got grass and weeds and clover and hairy bittercress and plantain, and I mean, you name it, I got it in here. And I got to get this cleaned up because I don't want to put my pine needles down and then try to spray the weeds as they come through. I'm already have to do that enough during the summer. Well, the kids are, but I'm gonna clean all this up so I have a good fresh start. Now let me show you one of my little tricks I like to do right here. You can see this edge line is kind of rough and kind of jagged looking. We'll look right up there. See how clean that edge is? All I did was take my weed eater, or trimmer, string trimmer, whatever you want to call it. And I started right here. And see how I cut that nice clean edge? That way I'm separating my good stuff from my bad stuff. Look, here's a good close-up example right here. That way when I spray, I can take my fan tip and I can spray all the way to the edge right here, and I can kill this clump of grass and not mess with my good grass. So that's why I do that in this application or this circumstance, because I don't want this grass blade over, or I don't want these grass blades over here so that I hit it with the Roundup, because if I do, it's going to leave a little dead spot right here and I can't deal with that. So that's why I edge this out, to give me a good, clean, definitive line for spraying, so I know where to spray and where not to spray. All right, so look what showed up, and they didn't give me that. I paid for it. Now, don't be confused. If you're an Academy member or you bought one of those battery power sprayers, don't get confused on this video. I don't use those battery power sprayers for spraying Roundup. I like low pressure, a very super controlled sprayer, especially when my guys are spraying Roundup. There's no way I'm gonna let them go out and spray that, just because too many accidents can happen. So we use the old-fashioned pump type sprayers. And I bought one of these. My sprayer guys, my turf treating crews, they do use the battery power ones for spot spraying weeds and spraying small areas and stuff like that where the machines or the truck we can't get to. And so I figured it don't be fitting. I try this sprayer out, and if it does well, I'll outfit all the mowing crews so they'll have it to spray the Roundup on their weekly visits. Now, one reason I did buy this, this is incredibly unique. I don't think I've ever seen one. And hey, before somebody asks me, am I selling these? The answer is no. I'm not. So there's no free shipping or nothing like that on it. That's just on those two battery sprayers. But if you do want one, use the link that's at gciturfacademy.com and go through that. I'll take you right to it. But check this out. You see that? See that little thing? That's agitation. Yep. I have never seen a backpack sprayer with agitation. See here how it redirects it and sends it back up into the tank, so that when you're not spraying, you can pump it and keep it mixed up. It's a pretty quality sprayer, man. I like this. I mean, I ain't saying it because I sell the battery one for them, but
the battery power for them. You can see it's all stainless steel, made pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna mix up my weed killer here now. Now this is Roundup. Now you gotta remember, if it gets on something, it's going to take it out. This is what's called a non-selective herbicide, meaning it does not have the ability to pick and choose what it wants to kill. If it gets on it, it's toast, so keep that in mind. For small scale stuff, you can pick it up in them little packets right there, dirt cheap. I got the gallon jug, and this is a little bit different mixing than your ounce per thousand. At least this is the way I mix it. I go by the label for spot treatments, meaning we're spraying a spot at a time. We're not blanketing an application. So that's for handheld equipment, which this would kind of fall into that category. It gives you a percentage. So you would use 1% of what you're spraying with Roundup. Now, please don't get this confused with all those other things that we're talking about, the other herbicides and RGS and all that. Take it out of your mind. This is strictly dealing with Roundup. 1% solution for what I'm doing. So that means this is 4 gallons, which 4 times 128 is 512. So you got 512 ounces. 1% of that is going to be around 4 ounces. Well, excuse me, 1% of that's going to be about 5 ounces, or 5 and a little bit more. Well, I'm just going to go and put 6 ounces in it just to make sure it's a little bit cool right now. And I want this stuff to take hold pretty quick. So I'm going to mix it just a pinch strong. Now, it comes with a little measuring cup, which is a pretty good deal. And it just kind of hooks right there on the cap. Well, you got to take the cap off before you do it. But anyway, got my Roundup in there. It's about half full of water. Now I'm gonna finish filling it up with water. So once I finish adding my water, I got it full up to the 4 gallon mark. I'm gonna check my pH on this. And it's 4.9, which that's really close to 5. I'm gonna go and put me a little natural adjuvant in there, because you know I don't ever spray any liquid without my adjuvant in there. And I know you're waiting on that video. It's coming. I give you my word, it's coming. I got a good reason for holding off. I'll let you know about that in the video. But that's going to help this Roundup work so much better than it typically would. So I put my adjuvant in there. Now, one thing about these sprayers, now I went through a lot of sprayers in my day, but I like how the threads fit down in there, inside, and lock down. Most sprayers screw on the outside, and I've found a lot of times that cap will break around because the plastic is thinner, because it has to wrap all the way around the top. But these right here, the threads are on the inside, and there's your seal, and she screws right down on there. So get it in there, and I'll give it a little shake. I'm ready to go spray. Now, one thing I will do while I'm at it doing my beds, I'll go on and get a good start on all my cracks in the driveway and cracks back here on the patio. So even as big as my beds are, I got beds that go all the way around the house. It takes about 150 bales of pine needle maybe. Even with that, I can spray, oh my gosh, man, I can spray a month and a half or so with this 4 gallons. So you can see, not a lot of pressure coming out. All right, now here's how I do this. You can see I use the fan tip. All right, and I'll hold it real low to the ground, and I'll angle it back toward the bed. I don't want to aim it toward the grass. I want to aim it back, and I'll start here and work my way toward the grass and stop right before it. That's it. See how simple that is? That way I'm sure not to hit my turf in the yard, because if I do that, I'm gonna have a daggone cow. You know, on your big areas or bigger weeds, you just kind of give it a little soak down. Kind of like that. And it's really that simple. You know,
once I get it cleaned up this first time, then I can put my pre-emergent down, which we'll do a video on that when I get to that point. Of course, I got some real good pre-emergent. They're 13 years old, they're 12 years old, and they're 6 years old. And they're really, really good at keeping weeds out of the yard. I mean, weeds out of the beds. That's their weekly job, is they get the daggone weeds up and put them kids to work. Or at least something that resembles work. So anyway, there you go. That's the way I do it. And around about 3 weeks, I will have, I've got some areas where the trench was at with my irrigation that settled in and stuff like that. And I've got some areas over here. Things like this. See that dip right there around that box? I can't have that. I'm just too, it's got to be level. So I'm gonna bring an aerator in here and I'm gonna bust all this up and rake it up nice and level before I put my pine needles down. And hey, another good rule of thumb now, and the reason I say this, because I've seen it done. You see this little spot of clover right here? Let me get a little pump. And you ain't gotta pump this thing up, man. It just takes a couple of pumps and you back up the pressure. But you see I got that sprayed right there, okay? Don't walk in it, please, because this stuff will tack to the bottom of your shoe, especially if you got the Adjuvant in it. It'll tack to the bottom of the shoe, and you take off across the yard, you're gonna have dead spots, dead feet print going across there. So don't dare do that. Cool thing about the fan tip is if I get in a spot to where, you know, I got 4 or 5 weeds in one spot, I just hold it a little bit higher and give it a little soak. Now, another thing I've been asked many times is, do I use the same sprayer for my yard as I do for my Roundup? The answer is no, I don't. Never have and never will. And yes, I'm quite familiar with triple rinse and quadruple rinse and the products you can put in there to neutralize tanks and all that, but honestly, I just don't take those chances. So, hey, hope this helps, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, look at there. Oh man, look at there. Remember the video before where we're taking this strip of turf right here that's kind of yucky, and we're turning it into something? Look at the difference. See, here was my grass right here. Here's the line of my grass, and you see it's already changed colors too. But look from here to here. That's that strip we're doing down through there. Look at the difference. So that's after one application. It's really starting to turn on. Hey, check you later and get your dirt right.